The Forgotten Sentinel. In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, where countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet, there existed a place of unimaginable power. A nexus of cosmic energy, hidden from the prying eyes of most sentient beings, pulsed with the raw potential to create or destroy worlds. This celestial crossroads had stood for eons, guarded by an entity as old as the stars themselves. The Cosmic Guardian, a being of pure energy and consciousness, had watched over this nexus since time immemorial. Its form was fluid, shifting between a swirling mass of stardust and a vaguely humanoid shape of glowing plasma. For millennia, it had fulfilled its duty without question, protecting the nexus from those who would seek to harness its power for nefarious purposes. But as ages passed, the Guardian grew wary. The endless procession of stars being born and dying, of civilizations rising and falling, had taken its toll. The Guardian's once vibrant energy dimmed, its vigilance wavered, and it retreated deeper into the heart of the nexus, allowing the cosmic winds to obscure its presence. It was into this forgotten corner of the universe that Dr. Lyra Chen's ship, the Curiosity, emerged from hyperspace. The small, sleek vessel was a testament to human ingenuity, designed for long-range solo exploration. Its hull gleamed under the light of unfamiliar stars as it approached a seemingly unremarkable region of space. Inside the ship's cockpit, Dr. Chen's eyes sparkled with excitement as she studied the readouts on her console. The 35-year-old astrophysicist had dedicated her career to searching for anomalies in the fabric of space-time, and her instruments were detecting something extraordinary. Incredible, Lyra murmured, her fingers dancing over the holographic displays. The energy readings are off the charts. This could be it, the proof of exotic matter I've been searching for. She guided the Curiosity closer to the source of the readings, her heart racing with anticipation. As a child growing up in the crowded megacities of Earth, Lyra had always dreamed of unraveling the universe's greatest mysteries. Now, alone in the depths of space, she felt she was on the verge of a discovery that could change humanity's understanding of the cosmos. As the Curiosity penetrated deeper into the nebulous region, the ship's sensors began to malfunction. Static crackled through the communications systems, and the navigation computers flickered erratically. What the hell? Lyra frowned, her fingers flying over the controls as she attempted to stabilize her systems. But it was too late. The Curiosity shuddered violently, caught in an invisible current that pulled it inexorably toward the heart of the anomaly. Lyra gritted her teeth, fighting against the controls as her ship was dragged through swirling clouds of cosmic dust. Brilliant flashes of energy illuminated the cockpit, forcing her to shield her eyes. For a moment, she feared she had made a terrible mistake, that her quest for knowledge would end in her demise. Then, as suddenly as it began, the turbulence ceased. The Curiosity emerged into a vast, open space unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. Before her stretched an enormous web of energy, pulsing with colors that defied description. At its center floated a being that seemed to be made of living starlight. The Cosmic Guardian, roused from its long solitude by the intrusion, focused its attention on the tiny ship and its human occupant. Its consciousness, vast and alien, brushed against Lyra's mind, filled with a mixture of curiosity and wariness. Who dares to enter the sacred nexus? The Guardian's thoughts boomed in Lyra's head, causing her to wince in pain. Swallowing her fear, Lyra opened a communication channel. I am Dr. Lyra Chen of Earth. I come in peace, seeking knowledge and understanding. The Guardian's form shimmered, coalescing into a vaguely humanoid shape of swirling energy. Earth, I know not of this world. Your kind has never ventured this far into the cosmos before. Lyra's scientific mind raced with questions, but she forced herself to remain calm. We are explorers, driven by an insatiable curiosity about the universe. I've traveled for years, searching for phenomena like this nexus. Please, can you tell me what this place is? The Guardian's response was tinged with both amusement and disdain. You are but an infant species, stumbling upon powers beyond your comprehension. This nexus is the lifeblood of the galaxy, a wellspring of creation and destruction. It is not for mortal beings to tamper with. Undeterred by the Guardian's dismissive tone, Lyra pressed on. We may be young compared to you, but we are eager to learn. I assure you, I have no intention of tampering with the Nexus. I seek only to understand it, to expand our knowledge of the universe. The Guardian's form pulsed with an intensity that made Lyra's instruments spike wildly. Understanding. Your kind always claims to seek understanding, but in the end, you inevitably try to control that which should remain free. I have seen it countless times across the eons. Lyra felt a flash of indignation at the Guardian's words. You're judging our entire species based on your preconceptions. Yes, humans have made mistakes, but we've also achieved incredible things through our pursuit of knowledge. We've cured diseases, explored our own solar system, and developed technologies that have improved the lives of billions. The Guardian's energy swirled turbulently, its thoughts a maelstrom of conflicting emotions. Your words are bold, human, but they change nothing. You should not be here. I will return you to your proper place in the galaxy, and you will forget this encounter. As the Guardian's power began to build, preparing to send the Curiosity hurtling back through space, Lyra made a desperate gambit. Wait, before you send me away, at least give me a chance to prove that humanity is worthy of this knowledge. Test me, challenge me. Let me show you that we're not the primitive beings you think we are. The Guardian paused, its energy settling into a more stable pattern. A test, intriguing. It has been long since I've engaged with mortal beings in such a manner. Very well, Dr. Lyra Chen of Earth. I will present you with 3 challenges. If you succeed, I will share with you some of the Nexus's secrets. If you fail, you will be sent home, your memories of this place erased. Lyra's heart pounded with a mixture of fear and excitement. I accept your terms. What is the first challenge? The Guardian's form expanded, enveloping the Curiosity in a cocoon of energy. Your first test is one of perception. I will show you a series of cosmic phenomena. You must correctly identify them and explain their nature. This will prove whether your species' understanding of the universe is as advanced as you claim. As mesmerizing images began to flash before her eyes, Lyra took a deep breath, steeling herself for the challenge ahead. She knew that the fate of her mission, and potentially humanity's future among the stars, rested on her ability to prove their worth to this ancient, jaded being. The cosmic phenomena appeared one after another. A magnetar's intense field, the collision of neutron stars, the birth of a quasar. Lyra's mind raced, drawing upon years of study and research as she identified each event and explained the underlying physics. As the final image faded, the Guardian's energy pulsed with what Lyra hoped was approval. Impressive, Dr. Chen. Your knowledge of cosmic events is considerable for such a young species. You have passed the first test. Lyra allowed herself a small smile of triumph, but she knew 2 more challenges lay ahead. Thank you. I'm ready for the next challenge. The Guardian's form shifted, and suddenly Lyra found herself standing on what appeared to be a barren, rocky planet. The Curiosity was nowhere in sight. Your second test is one of survival and adaptability. You have 1 planetary rotation to create a sustainable shelter using only the resources available on this world. Begin. As the Guardian vanished, leaving her alone on the alien landscape, Lyra quickly assessed her surroundings. The atmosphere was thin but breathable, and she could see ice caps at the poles. Her scientific training kicked in as she began to formulate a plan. Over the next several hours, Lyra demonstrated the ingenuity that had driven humanity to the stars. She used the planet's ice to create water, harnessed geothermal vents for energy, and crafted a shelter from local minerals. As the planet's sun began to set, she had established a small but functional living space. The Guardian reappeared, its energy form rippling with what Lyra interpreted as surprise. You have succeeded where many others have failed, human. Your resourcefulness is remarkable. Lyra, exhausted but proud, stood tall before the cosmic entity. Humanity has always thrived on overcoming challenges. It's in our nature to adapt and persevere. So I see, the Guardian mused. You have earned the right to face the final challenge. But be warned, it will test more than your knowledge or survival skills. It will peer into the very essence of your being. As the Guardian spoke, the fabricated world around them dissolved, and Lyra found herself back in the heart of the Nexus. The web of energy pulsed more intensely now, and she could feel its power washing over her. Your final test is one of ethics and wisdom, the Guardian declared. I will present you with a moral dilemma. Your response will determine whether your species is truly ready for the knowledge you seek. Lyra steeled herself, knowing that this final challenge could be the most difficult yet. I'm ready. The Guardian's energy coalesced into a swirling vortex of images and sensations. Lyra saw a peaceful alien civilization, reminiscent of humanity's own world. Then she witnessed a terrible cataclysm approaching, a gamma-ray burst that would sterilize the entire planet. You have the power to save this world, the Guardian's voice echoed in her mind. But doing so would require diverting the gamma-ray burst towards another inhabited system, dooming that population instead. What do you choose? Lyra's mind reeled at the immense weight of the decision before her. She thought of all the philosophical and ethical debates that had raged throughout human history. In that moment, she knew that her answer would represent not just herself, but all of humanity. Taking a deep breath, Lyra spoke firmly. I choose neither option. The Guardian's energy flickered with surprise. Explain. By presenting this scenario as a binary choice, you're testing whether we would sacrifice one population to save another. But that's a false dilemma, Lyra argued. Humanity's greatest strengths lie in our creativity and our ability to find alternatives when faced with impossible situations. She continued, her voice growing stronger. Instead of accepting the scenario as given, I would use the knowledge and power available to find a third option. Perhaps we could evacuate both populations, or develop a way to shield them from the gamma-ray burst. We would work tirelessly to save as many lives as possible without sacrificing others. The Guardian was silent for a long moment, its energy swirling in contemplation. Finally, it spoke. In all the eons I have guarded this nexus, few have dared to challenge the parameters of the test itself. Your response reveals a depth of wisdom I did not expect from such a young species. Lyra felt a glimmer of hope as the Guardian's form began to glow brighter. Does this mean? Yes, Dr. Lyra Chen of Earth. You have passed all 3 challenges. More than that, you have shown me that perhaps I have grown too complacent in my long vigil. Your species' combination of knowledge, adaptability, and ethical reasoning is intriguing. The Nexus pulsed with renewed energy, and Lyra's ship, the Curiosity, reappeared beside her. The Guardian's form expanded, enveloping both Lyra and her vessel in a cocoon of cosmic energy. I will grant you a glimpse of the knowledge you seek, the Guardian declared. But remember, with great knowledge comes great responsibility. How humanity uses this information will determine your species' fate among the stars. As promised, the Guardian began to share insights into the nature of the cosmos that made Lyra's mind reel. She learned of dark energy's true nature, of hidden dimensions folded within their own, and of the intricate web of wormholes that crisscrossed the galaxy. Hours passed like seconds as Lyra absorbed more information than she had ever dreamed possible. When it was over, she found herself back in the Curiosity's cockpit, her head spinning with new understanding. The Guardian's voice echoed one last time in her mind. Go now, Dr. Chen. Return to your people and use this knowledge wisely. Perhaps one day, humanity will be ready to join the cosmic community as true guardians of the galaxy. As the Curiosity's engines hummed to life, Lyra looked out at the shimmering nexus and the ancient being that guarded it. She knew that her journey, and humanity's journey to the stars, was only just beginning. With a final pulse of energy, the Guardian sent the Curiosity hurtling back through space towards Earth and the future that awaited. Lyra Chen, forever changed by her encounter, prepared herself for the monumental task ahead, guiding humanity towards its cosmic destiny. Unraveling the mystery, the journey back to Earth was a blur for Dr. Lyra Chen. Her mind raced with the cosmic knowledge imparted by the Guardian, each new understanding threatening to overwhelm her human consciousness. As the curiosity hurtled through the vast expanse of space, Lyra struggled to process the enormity of what she had experienced. Days turned into weeks, and Lyra found herself talking to the ship's AI, AOIA, in an attempt to organize her thoughts. "AOIA, how do I even begin to explain what I've learned? The nature of dark energy, the hidden dimensions, the intricacies of wormholes, it's all so far beyond our current understanding of physics." Aria's calm voice responded, "Perhaps, Dr. Chen, it would be wise to approach this methodically. We could start by recording your observations and then attempt to correlate them with existing scientific theories." Lyra nodded, grateful for the A's logical approach. As she began to dictate her experiences, a pattern emerged. The Guardian's knowledge didn't just expand upon human understanding. In many ways, it completely rewrote it. As Earth finally came into view, a small blue marble suspended in the black void, Lyra felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. How would her colleagues react to her discoveries? Would they believe her or dismiss her as delusional? The Curiosity's landing at the Global Space Agency's headquarters was met with a flurry of activity. Scientists, government officials, and media representatives swarmed the landing pad, all eager to hear about Dr. Chen's groundbreaking solo mission. Dr. Marcus Emerson, Lyra's mentor and the project lead, was the first to greet her as she stepped out of the ship. His weathered face broke into a wide smile. "Lyra, my God, it's good to see you. We were starting to worry when we lost contact for those few weeks. What happened out there?" Lyra took a deep breath, looking around at the expectant faces. "Marcus, everyone, I've made contact with an advanced alien entity. And what I've learned, it changes everything." A hush fell over the crowd, followed by an explosion of questions and exclamations. Lyra raised her hands, calling for silence. "Please, I know you all have questions, but this is bigger than any of us. We need to approach this carefully, methodically. I suggest we convene a closed session with the top minds in various scientific fields. What I have to share will reshape our understanding of the universe." In the days that followed, Lyra found herself in intense debriefing sessions. She shared her encounter with the Guardian, careful to emphasize the ethical implications and responsibilities that came with this new knowledge. To her relief, her story was met not with disbelief, but with cautious excitement. Dr. Emerson, after one particularly long session, pulled Lyra aside. "I've known you for years, Lyra. I know you wouldn't make this up. But the implications, they're staggering. If what you've learned about dark energy is true, it could revolutionize our energy production. And these hidden dimensions you speak of, they could be the key to faster-than-light travel." Lyra nodded solemnly. "That's exactly why we need to be careful, Marcus. The Guardian warned me about the responsibilities that come with this knowledge. We can't rush into this blindly." As weeks turned into months, Lyra worked tirelessly with teams of scientists to translate her experiences into testable hypotheses. Experiments were designed, new instruments were built, and gradually, proof of her encounters began to accumulate. The first major breakthrough came when a team of physicists, using Lyra's insights, managed to detect fluctuations in the fabric of space-time that corresponded with the hidden dimensions she had described. The scientific community was abuzz with excitement, and Lyra found herself thrust into the global spotlight. But as humanity's understanding grew, so did Lyra's unease. Late one night, as she stood on the balcony of her apartment, gazing up at the stars, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. "AI," she called out to her AI assistant, which she had integrated into her home system. "Do you think we're moving too fast? It's been only a year, and already there's talk of experimental wormhole generators and dark energy reactors." Aria's serene voice filled the room. "Your concern is understandable, Dr. Chen. The rate of technological advancement based on your discoveries is unprecedented in human history. However, it is worth noting that this rapid progress is a testament to humanity's adaptability and ingenuity, qualities that impressed the Guardian. Laura sighed, running a hand through her hair. "You're right, of course. But I can't help feeling like we're children playing with fire. The Guardian entrusted us with this knowledge, and I'm responsible for how we use it." As if in response to her worries, Lyra's secure communication device chirped. It was a priority message from Dr. Emerson. "Lyra, we need you at the lab immediately. There's been an incident with the prototype dark energy reactor." Laura's heart raced as she rushed to the research facility. Upon arrival, she found the lab in chaos. Alarms blared, and researchers scrambled to contain a swirling vortex of energy that pulsed ominously in the center of the room. "What happened?" Lyra demanded, her eyes fixed on the growing anomaly. Dr. Emerson's face was pale with worry. "We were running a test on the reactor, pushing it to higher energy levels. Something went wrong. The containment field collapsed, and now it's drawing in energy from somewhere else. We can't shut it down." Laura's mind raced, drawing upon the knowledge the Guardian had shared. She realized with growing horror that the reactor had inadvertently created a link to the cosmic nexus she had encountered. "We need to close that link now," Lyra said firmly. "If we don't, it could destabilize the entire nexus. The consequences would be catastrophic on a galactic scale." As the team worked frantically to implement Lyra's suggestions, she couldn't help but wonder if this was precisely the kind of scenario the Guardian had feared. Had humanity's eagerness to harness this new knowledge outpaced their wisdom to use it responsibly? Hours passed in tense work before they finally managed to close the rift and stabilize the reactor. As the alarms fell silent and the emergency lights dimmed, Lyra leaned against a console, exhausted but relieved. Dr. Emerson approached her, his expression a mix of gratitude and concern. "You saved us all, Lyra. But this incident, it raises serious questions about whether we're ready for this technology." Lyra nodded gravely. "You're right, Marcus. We need to reevaluate everything. This power, it's too vast, too dangerous for us to rush into using it. We need time to grow, to mature as a species before we can responsibly wield it." As she spoke, Laura felt a familiar presence brush against her mind. The Guardian's voice, faint but clear, echoed in her thoughts. "You begin to understand, Dr. Chen. The path to cosmic enlightenment is long and fraught with peril, but do not lose hope. Your species has shown great potential." Laura straightened up, a new resolve filling her. She turned to Dr. Emerson and the assembled team. "Listen, everyone. What happened here tonight is a wake-up call. The knowledge I brought back isn't just about advancing our technology. It's about advancing ourselves, our ethics, our wisdom, our very way of thinking." She paused, looking each person in the eye. "From this moment on, we need to approach this new frontier not just as scientists, but as stewards. Every discovery, every advancement must be weighed not only for its scientific merit, but for its ethical implications and potential consequences." The room was silent as her words sank in. Then, slowly, heads began to nod in agreement. Dr. Emerson stepped forward, placing a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "You're right, Lyra. We've been so caught up in what we could do, we haven't stopped to consider if we should. It's time we changed that." As the team began to discuss new protocols and ethical guidelines, Laura felt a glimmer of hope. The incident had been a close call, but it had also been a valuable lesson. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and though the path ahead was uncertain, Laura was determined to guide her species toward a future worthy of the cosmic legacy they had inherited. The Guardian's presence faded from her mind, but its final words lingered. "Watch and guide them, Lyra Chen. The stars await, but only when you are truly ready." Laura looked out the lab's window at the night sky, the stars twinkling with new meaning. She knew that humanity's greatest journey was just beginning, and she was ready to lead the way, one careful step at a time. The looming darkness. 5 years had passed since Dr. Lyra Chen's fateful encounter with the Cosmic Guardian and the subsequent dark energy reactor incident. In that time, humanity had made remarkable strides in understanding and implementing the knowledge Lyra had brought back. However, true to her word, Lyra had ensured that every advancement was tempered with careful consideration of its ethical implications and potential consequences. The Global Science Ethics Committee, formed in the wake of the reactor incident, had become a powerful force in guiding humanity's cosmic endeavors. Lyra, as its chairperson, worked tirelessly to balance scientific progress with responsible stewardship of their new knowledge. On a crisp autumn morning, Lyra stood before a gathered assembly of world leaders and scientific luminaries. The occasion was the unveiling of Earth's first successful stable wormhole generator, an achievement that promised to revolutionize space travel and exploration. Today marks a pivotal moment in human history, Lyra began, her voice carrying across the hushed auditorium. With this generator, we stand on the threshold of becoming a truly spacefaring civilization. But let us remember the lessons of the past and proceed with caution and wisdom. As applause filled the room, Lyra felt a familiar tingle at the edge of her consciousness. The Guardian's presence, which had been silent for years, suddenly surged forth with an urgency that made her stumble mid-sentence. Dr. Chen, the Guardian's thoughts boomed in her mind. A great darkness approaches. The knowledge I shared with you has drawn the attention of a force beyond your comprehension. You must prepare. Lyra's face paled, causing murmurs of concern to ripple through the audience. Dr. Emerson, now her right-hand man in the ethics committee, rushed to her side. Lyra, what's wrong? Composing herself, Lyra addressed the crowd once more. I apologize for the interruption. Something urgent has come up that requires immediate attention. Dr. Emerson will conclude the ceremony. As Lyra hurried from the stage, confused whispers followed in her wake. She made her way to a secure communication room, her mind racing with the Guardian's warning. Once alone, Lyra closed her eyes, focusing on the ethereal connection. Guardian, I'm listening. What darkness do you speak of? The Guardian's response came in a flood of images and sensations that nearly overwhelmed Lyra's senses. She saw a vast, writhing mass of shadowy tendrils spreading across the galaxy, consuming everything in its path. Worlds were stripped bare, stars were extinguished, and the very fabric of space-time seemed to warp and tear. They are the Void Collective, the Guardian explained, its mental voice tinged with a fear Lyra had never sensed from the cosmic being before. A hive-mind species that exists in the spaces between dimensions. They feed on energy, the energy of stars, of life, of reality itself. Your experiments with dark energy have caught their attention, and now they come, hungry for the power of the nexus I guard. Lyra's mind reeled at the implications. How do we stop them? Alone you cannot, the Guardian replied, but together we might stand a chance. You must come to the nexus, Dr. Chen. Bring your greatest minds, your most advanced technology. The fate of not just your world, but countless others hangs in the balance. As the Guardian's presence faded, Lyra slumped against the wall, the weight of this new responsibility pressing down on her. She had guided humanity in its first steps among the stars, but now they faced a threat beyond anything they had ever imagined. With shaking hands, Lyra activated the global emergency protocol she had hoped never to use. Within hours, world leaders, top scientists, and military strategists were gathered in a secure underground facility. Ladies and gentlemen, Lyra began, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. Earth faces an existential threat, one that endangers not just our world, but our entire galaxy. The room erupted in a cacophony of questions and exclamations. Lyra raised her hand for silence, then proceeded to explain everything: her ongoing connection with the Guardian, the nature of the Void Collective, and the desperate need for action. President Kira Yamamoto of the United Earth Government leaned forward, her eyes intense. Dr. Chen, You're saying we need to mount a defense not just of Earth, but of this cosmic nexus. How can we possibly hope to face a threat of this magnitude? Lyra took a deep breath. Madam President, distinguished colleagues, what I'm proposing is unprecedented. We need to assemble a task force, our brightest minds, our most advanced technology. We'll use the wormhole generator to travel to the Nexus and work with the Guardian to formulate a defense. Dr. Emerson, his face grave, spoke up. Lyra, you realize what you're asking. We'd be committing our most valuable resources to a fight we barely understand, in a part of space we've never visited. I understand the risks, Marcus, Lyra replied firmly. But the alternative is to wait here for annihilation. The Void Collective will not stop with the Nexus. Once they've consumed its power, they'll spread across the galaxy like a cancer, destroying everything in their path, Earth included. A tense silence fell over the room as the enormity of the situation sank in. Finally, General Laura Chen, no relation to Lyra, of the United Earth Defense Force stood. Dr. Chen is right. We can't afford to be reactionary. If we're going to face this threat, we need to take the fight to them. Over the next several weeks, Earth became a hive of activity. The wormhole generator was recalibrated for long-distance travel, and a fleet of ships was outfitted with the most advanced weapons and defensive systems humanity had developed. A team of elite scientists, engineers, and soldiers was assembled, each chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think creatively and adapt to the unknown. Dr. Emerson, despite his initial reservations, volunteered to co-lead the mission alongside Lyra. As the day of departure approached, Lyra stood before the assembled task force. The hangar was filled with sleek ships, each a testament to human ingenuity and the advancements made possible by the Guardian's knowledge. Each of you, Lyra addressed the group, represents the best of humanity. You carry with you not just the hopes of Earth, but the fate of countless worlds across the galaxy. The challenge before us is immense, the enemy beyond anything we've faced before. But remember this, we possess something the Void Collective can never understand. Creativity, compassion, the ability to see beyond mere survival to the beauty of existence itself. She paused, looking each member of the task force in the eye. We go now to stand alongside a being that has watched over our galaxy for eons. We go to prove that humanity is ready to take its place among the cosmic guardians. The road ahead will be difficult, but I have faith in each and every one of you. As cheers erupted from the assembled team, Lyra felt a mix of pride and trepidation. She knew that the coming battle would test them in ways they couldn't imagine. But as she looked at the determined faces before her, she also knew that if any species could rise to this challenge, it was humanity. The ships were loaded, final checks were made, and the wormhole generator hummed to life. As Lyra strapped herself into the command chair of the lead vessel, she exchanged a nod with Dr. Emerson. Ready for another adventure in the unknown, Marcus? She asked with a wry smile. He chuckled, though his eyes were serious. With you leading us? Always, Lyra. As the wormhole spiraled open before them, a swirling vortex of cosmic energy, Lyra took a deep breath. Task Force, this is Commander Chen. All ships, prepare for transit. Our destination, the cosmic nexus. Our mission, save the galaxy. Good luck and Godspeed. With a flash of light and a rush of energy, the Earth fleet plunged into the wormhole, hurtling towards a confrontation that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but all of creation. The greatest test of human ingenuity, courage, and spirit lay ahead, and Lyra Chen was determined to prove that humanity was ready to face it. Battle at the edge of forever. The journey through the wormhole was unlike anything the Earth fleet had experienced. Colors beyond human perception flashed by, and the very fabric of reality seemed to twist and bend around them. For what felt like both an eternity and a mere instant, they hurtled through the cosmic shortcut. When they emerged, the sight that greeted them left even the most seasoned space travelers in awe. The cosmic nexus sprawled before them, a vast web of energy tendrils pulsing with power. At its center, the cosmic guardian's form blazed like a living star. "By all that's holy," Dr. Emerson whispered, his eyes wide as he took in the view from the bridge of the lead ship. Lyra, equally amazed, but focused on their mission, opened a channel to the fleet. "All ships report in. Any damage from the transit." To her relief, all vessels reported successful passage. As the fleet approached the Nexus, the Guardian's consciousness reached out to them. "You have arrived just in time, Dr. Chen," the Guardian's thoughts boomed. "The Void Collective approaches. We must prepare." Lyra nodded, her expression grim. "Guardian, we've brought our most advanced technology and our best minds. Tell us how we can help fortify the Nexus." Over the next several hours, humans and the cosmic entity worked in unprecedented cooperation. The Earth ships formed a defensive perimeter around the Nexus, their advanced shields integrating with the Guardian's energy field to create a multi-layered defense. Dr. Emerson led a team in modifying their dark energy reactors to reinforce the dimensional barriers around the Nexus, making it harder for the Void Collective to pierce through. Meanwhile, Lyra worked directly with the Guardian, using her understanding of both human technology and cosmic forces to create a network of early warning sensors. As they worked, Lyra couldn't help but marvel at how far humanity had come. Just a few years ago, they were limited to their own solar system. Now they stood side by side with an ancient cosmic entity preparing to defend the galaxy. Their preparations were barely complete when the sensors blared to life. The Void Collective had arrived. The sight chilled Lyra to her core. A vast, undulating mass of darkness emerged from tears in the fabric of space-time. Tendrils of non-light reached out, probing and searching, hungry for the energy of the Nexus. "All ships, battle stations," Lyra commanded, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. "Remember your training. We are humanity's best hope. We will not fail." The battle erupted with a fury that defied description. The Void Collective launched wave after wave of attacks, each one testing the defenses of the Nexus and the human fleet. Earth's ships responded with salvos of advanced weaponry, beams of concentrated dark energy, gravity bombs that warped space itself, and swarms of AI-driven nano-missiles. For a time, it seemed that the combined might of humanity and the Guardian might be enough. The Void Collective's attacks were repelled, and the Nexus remained secure. But as the battle raged on, the true horror of their enemy became apparent. "They're adapting," Dr. Emerson shouted over the comms. "Every attack we launch, they analyze and counter. Our effectiveness is dropping." Lyra gritted her teeth, watching as the Void Collective's tendrils began to slip through their defenses. "Guardian, we need options." The Guardian's response was tinged with desperation. "The Collective's hunger is insatiable. They will not stop until they have consumed all. We must find a way to drive them back to their own dimension, or all is lost." As if to emphasize the Guardian's words, a massive tendril of void energy lashed out, spearing through one of Earth's ships. The vessel exploded in a burst of light and debris, its crew lost in an instant. "No," Lyra cried out, feeling the loss keenly. She knew every person on that ship, had trained with them, prepared for this mission alongside them. The loss seemed to energize the Void Collective. Its attacks intensified, pressing in on all sides. More ships fell, their advanced technology proving insufficient against the eldritch horror they faced. Dr. Emerson's voice crackled over the comms, strained and desperate. "Lyra, we can't hold them much longer. Our shields are failing, and the dimensional barriers are collapsing. We need a miracle." Lyra's mind raced, searching for a solution. They had come so far, achieved so much. She refused to believe this was how it would end. As she watched the battle unfold, a desperate plan began to form in her mind. "Guardian," she called out, both aloud and in her thoughts. "The Nexus. It's a conduit of cosmic energy, correct? A junction point between dimensions." "Yes," the Guardian confirmed. "It is the wellspring from which much of the galaxy's energy flows." Lyra's eyes lit up with determination. Then maybe we can use it against the Void Collective. If we can create a feedback loop, channel the Nexus's energy directly into their dimension. The Guardian's consciousness recoiled. The risk is too great. Such an action could destabilize the entire Nexus, possibly destroying it. We don't have a choice, Lyra insisted. If we do nothing, the Void Collective will consume everything anyway. At least this way, we have a chance. There was a moment of hesitation, then the Guardian's energy pulsed in agreement. Very well, Dr. Chen. But know that if we proceed, the consequences will ripple across the cosmos. Are you prepared for that responsibility? Lyra looked out at the battle raging around them, human ships fighting valiantly against an incomprehensible foe, the very fabric of space torn asunder by the conflict. She thought of Earth, of all the planets and civilizations that would fall if they failed here. I am, she said firmly. Tell me what to do. What followed was a desperate race against time. As the remaining Earth ships fought to hold back the Void Collective, Lyra worked with the Guardian to reconfigure the Nexus. They would have only one chance to get it right. All ships, Lyra broadcast to the fleet, fall back to minimum safe distance. We're about to attempt a dimensional reversal. As the human vessels retreated, Lyra and the Guardian began the process. The Nexus's energy, usually a steady pulse, began to build rapidly. The tendrils of power grew brighter, whipping about with increasing fury. The Void Collective, sensing the change, redoubled its efforts to breach the Nexus. Massive tentacles of darkness lashed out, tearing through the weakened defenses. Now, Guardian, Lyra shouted as a tendril of void energy reached for the heart of the Nexus. With a surge of power that dwarfed anything Lyra had ever experienced, the Nexus released its pent-up energy. A blinding light erupted, searing across dimensional barriers. The Void Collective's form wavered, then began to collapse in on itself. A deafening, multidimensional shriek filled the cosmos as the Collective was forced back through the tears it had created. The light of the Nexus followed, sealing the breaches and scouring the invading darkness from our reality. As suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The Void Collective was gone, driven back to its own dimension, but the cost had been enormous. The Nexus, once a brilliant web of energy, now flickered weakly. Many of Earth's ships were destroyed or badly damaged, and the very fabric of space around them seemed fragile, as if it might tear at the slightest provocation. Lyra, her mind reeling from the immense energies she had helped channel, slumped in her command chair. Status report, she managed to croak out. Dr. Emerson's voice came through, thick with emotion. We've won, Lyra. The Void Collective is gone, but our losses, they're heavy. And the Nexus? I know, Lyra said softly, looking out at the weakened cosmic junction. Guardian, are you there? The Guardian's presence touched her mind, but it was faint, diminished. I endure, Dr. Chen, but the Nexus, and I with it, have been gravely wounded. It will take eons for us to recover our full strength. Lyra felt tears welling up in her eyes. They had saved the galaxy, but at what cost? As the remaining Earth ships limped back towards the Nexus, she knew that their greatest challenge still lay ahead. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, but now they had to deal with the consequences of their desperate gambit. The battle was over, but the true test of humanity's place among the stars was just beginning. Humanity's resilience. In the aftermath of the battle against the Void Collective, an eerie quiet settled over the cosmic Nexus. The remaining Earth ships, battered but unbroken, regrouped around the flickering energy web that had once blazed with unimaginable power. Lyra Chen, her body exhausted but her mind racing, knew that their victory had come at a terrible price. All ships, report in, she commanded, her voice hoarse from shouting orders during the chaos of battle. One by one, the surviving vessels responded, each report a mixture of relief at their survival and grief for those lost. Dr. Emerson's face appeared on the main view screen, his usually neat appearance now disheveled, a cut above his eye still bleeding slightly. Lyra, We've done a preliminary assessment. We've lost over half our fleet, and the remaining ships are in need of serious repairs. But more critically, the Nexus. He didn't need to finish. Lyra could see it with her own eyes. The once magnificent cosmic crossroads now pulsed weakly, its intricate web of energy frayed and dim. The Guardian's presence, once a constant, comforting hum in the back of her mind, was now faint and erratic. "Guardian," Lyra called out, both aloud and in her thoughts. "What can we do to help you and the Nexus recover?" The response came slowly, the Guardian's mental voice weak and strained. "The damage is extensive, Dr. Chen. The Nexus will heal, but it will take time. Perhaps millennia." Lyra's heart sank. They had saved the galaxy from the immediate threat of the Void Collective, but at what cost? The Nexus was a crucial part of the cosmic ecosystem. Its weakened state could have far-reaching consequences they couldn't even begin to fathom. As if reading her thoughts, the Guardian continued, "The balance of the cosmos has been disrupted. Until the Nexus regains its strength, the very fabric of space-time will be unstable. Wormholes may open randomly, solar systems could drift, and the boundaries between dimensions may weaken." Dr. Emerson, who had been listening in, paled at the implications. "Lyra, if what the Guardian says is true, we're looking at potential catastrophes on a galactic scale. Earth could be affected, not to mention countless other worlds." Lyra closed her eyes, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. They had come here to save the galaxy, and in a way they had succeeded. But now they faced a new challenge, one that would require not just bravery and advanced technology, but patience, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good. Opening her eyes, Lyra straightened in her chair. "Then we'll just have to rise to the occasion, won't we?" She tapped her comm system, broadcasting to all surviving ships and to the Guardian itself. "Listen up, everyone. We've won the battle, but our job is far from over. The Nexus needs our help, and by extension, the entire galaxy needs us." She paused, letting her words sink in. "I propose we establish a permanent presence here. We'll create a space station to monitor the Nexus, study its recovery, and do what we can to mitigate any cosmic disturbances. This won't be a short-term mission. We're looking at years, possibly decades of commitment, but I can think of no more important task for humanity right now." There was a moment of silence, then Dr. Emerson spoke up. "I'm in. Someone needs to keep you out of trouble after all." His attempt at humor brought a few chuckles from the weary crew. One by one, the other ship captains and crew members voiced their agreement. They had come to save the galaxy, and they weren't about to abandon it now. Over the next few months, a flurry of activity transformed the space around the weakened Nexus. Using the remaining ships and fabrication technology they had brought from Earth, the human team constructed a sprawling space station. They named it Nexus Guardian, a tribute to both their cosmic ally and their new role. As the station took shape, Lyra worked tirelessly to coordinate their efforts. She divided the team into specialized groups, one to monitor and assist in the Nexus's recovery, another to study and predict cosmic disturbances, and a third to develop new technologies to stabilize affected areas of space. Dr. Emerson led the research team, his brilliant mind now focused on understanding the intricacies of cosmic healing. "It's fascinating, Lyra," he said one day, his eyes alight with scientific curiosity despite the bags under them from lack of sleep. "The Nexus isn't just recovering, it's adapting. It's as if our interference has sparked a kind of cosmic evolution." Lyra nodded, intrigued but cautious. "That's promising, but let's not celebrate too soon. We still have a lot of work ahead of us." As the months turned into years, the Nexus Guardian station became a beacon of hope in the cosmos. They faced numerous challenges, random wormholes that threatened to tear the station apart, waves of temporal distortion that aged some crew members while rejuvenating others, even incursions from other dimensions attracted by the weakened barriers. But with each challenge, humanity proved its resilience and ingenuity. They developed wormhole stabilizers, created temporal shielding, and even found ways to communicate peacefully with extra-dimensional beings. The knowledge they gained was unprecedented, advancing their understanding of the universe by leaps and bounds. 5 years into their mission, during a rare quiet moment, Lyra stood at the observation deck of the Nexus Guardian, gazing out at the slowly healing cosmic web. The Guardian's presence brushed against her mind, stronger now than it had been since the battle. "You have surprised me once again, Dr. Chen," the Guardian's thoughts resonated in her mind. "When I first encountered your kind, I saw only your potential. Now I see your reality. You have faced challenges that would have broken lesser species, and you have not only endured but thrived." Lyra smiled, feeling a sense of pride not just in herself, but in all of humanity. "We're stubborn that way," she replied. "We don't like to leave things unfinished, especially when the stakes are this high." The Guardian's energy pulsed in what Lyra had come to recognize as amusement. "Indeed, and in doing so, you have earned your place among the cosmic guardians. The knowledge and wisdom your people have gained here will serve you well in the eons to come." As if to emphasize the Guardian's words, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Dr. Emerson's voice came over the comm system, excitement evident in his tone. "Lyra, you need to see this. The Nexus, it's doing something new." Lyra rushed to the main research lab, her heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and concern. As she entered, she saw the entire research team gathered around a holographic display of the Nexus. The cosmic web was pulsing with renewed energy, but it was different from before. New patterns were forming, intricate and beautiful. "What are we looking at, Marcus?" Lyra asked, her eyes wide as she took in the display. Dr. Emerson turned to her, his face alight with wonder. "It's incredible, Lyra. The Nexus isn't just healing, it's evolving. It's incorporating elements of the defensive network we created, adapting our technology into its very essence. And look here," he pointed to a series of energy flows. "These patterns match the brainwave patterns of our crew. It's as if the Nexus is learning from us." Lyra felt the Guardian's presence grow stronger in her mind. "Your colleague is correct, Dr. Chen. Through your efforts to heal me in the Nexus, you have sparked a transformation. The cosmic Nexus is becoming something new, something that bridges the gap between your science and the fundamental forces of the universe." As the implications of this revelation sank in, Lyra realized that their mission had accomplished far more than they had ever dreamed possible. They had not only saved the galaxy from the Void Collective and helped heal the cosmic Nexus, but they had also forged a deep, lasting connection between humanity and the very fabric of the cosmos. The challenges ahead were still immense, the full consequences of their actions yet to be seen. But as Lyra looked around at her team, humans who had risked everything to save a universe they were only beginning to understand, she knew that they were ready to face whatever the cosmos had in store for them. Humanity had proven its worth among the stars, and this, Lyra realized, was just the beginning of their true cosmic adventure. A new dawn for the galaxy. 10 years had passed since the battle against the Void Collective and the establishment of the Nexus Guardian Station. In that time, humanity had undergone a transformation as profound as that of the cosmic Nexus itself. The knowledge gained from their experiences at the edge of creation had revolutionized Earth's understanding of the universe and their place within it. Lyra Chen, now sporting a few strands of grey in her once jet-black hair, stood before the United Galaxy Council, a governing body that had formed in response to humanity's new role as cosmic guardians. Representatives from Earth and several alien civilizations they had encountered during their stewardship of the Nexus sat in rapt attention. Distinguished members of the Council, Lyra began, her voice carrying the weight of a decade's worth of experiences. "I stand before you today to report on the state of the cosmic Nexus and to propose our next steps as a galactic community." She gestured, and a holographic display of the Nexus appeared above the council chamber. The once wounded cosmic web now pulsed with vibrant energy, its patterns more complex and beautiful than ever before. "As you can see, The Nexus has not only recovered but evolved. It has integrated aspects of our technology, our thought patterns, and even elements from the various species we've encountered. It has become a true bridge between the physical and the cosmic. Murmurs of awe rippled through the assembled representatives. An alien delegate, a being of crystalline structure named Xerix, spoke up. Dr. Chen, your people's dedication to healing the Nexus is commendable. But what does this evolution mean for the rest of us? Lyra nodded, appreciating the direct question. Excellent query, Delegate Xerix. The evolved Nexus offers us unprecedented opportunities. It has stabilized the cosmic disturbances we once feared, allowing for safer interstellar travel. More importantly, it has opened up new avenues of communication and understanding between species. She paused, letting her next words carry their full impact. In essence, the Nexus has become a galactic internet of consciousness. Through it, we can share knowledge, experiences, and even emotions across vast distances. It's a tool for unity and peace on a scale we never imagined possible. The chamber erupted in excited discussion. Dr. Emerson, now the head of Earth's Cosmic Science Division, stood to address the council. If I may add, the Nexus evolution has also granted us insights into the fundamental nature of reality. We're on the brink of unifying our understanding of physics in ways that will revolutionize everything from energy production to space travel. As the council debated the implications of these revelations, Lyra felt the familiar presence of the Guardian touch her mind. Over the years, their connection had deepened, the once alien consciousness now a comforting ally. You have done well, Lyra Chen. The Guardian's thoughts resonated within her. Your species has exceeded all expectations. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Lyra nodded imperceptibly, then addressed the council once more. Members of the United Galaxy Council, the gifts we have received come with a duty. As the Nexus has evolved, so too must we. I propose the formation of a cosmic stewardship program, a joint effort between all our species to protect, study, and nurture the Nexus and the galactic community it supports. The proposal was met with unanimous approval. In the years that followed, the United Galaxy Council oversaw an unprecedented era of cooperation and advancement. The Cosmic Stewardship Program became a shining example of what could be achieved when diverse species work together towards a common goal. Faster-than-light travel, once a dream, became commonplace. Diseases that had plagued civilizations for millennia were cured through the shared knowledge of the galactic community. Conflicts between species, while not eliminated entirely, were often resolved through the deep understanding fostered by the Nexus-enhanced communication. 20 years after the battle that had changed everything, Lyra stood on the observation deck of the greatly expanded Nexus Guardian station. The view before her was breathtaking. Ships from 100 worlds coming and going, researchers from diverse species working side by side, and at the center of it all, the cosmic Nexus, a swirling masterpiece of energy and consciousness. Dr. Emerson, his hair now white, but his eyes still bright with curiosity, joined her at the window. Quite a view, isn't it? Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come. Lyra smiled, placing a hand on her old friend's shoulder. It's more than I ever dared to hope for, Marcus, but our journey isn't over. In fact, I'd say it's only just beginning. As if in response to her words, alert chimed softly. A young officer, her uniform bearing the insignia of the Cosmic Stewardship Program, approached them. Dr. Chen, Dr. Emerson, we're picking up some unusual readings from the outer edges of the galaxy. It looks like another Nexus is forming. Lyra and Marcus exchanged a look of surprise and excitement. The Guardian's presence touched Lyra's mind, its tone one of wonder. The universe continues to evolve, Dr. Chen. Are you ready for a new adventure? Lyra felt a familiar thrill course through her, the same feeling she had experienced when she first set out to explore the cosmos all those years ago. She turned to Dr. Emerson, seeing the same spark in his eyes. Well, old friend, she said with a grin, shall we see what new mysteries the universe has in store for us? Marcus laughed, the sound full of joy and anticipation. "Lead the way, Lyra. You know I'm always up for a cosmic adventure." As they moved to investigate this new phenomenon, Lara reflected on the incredible journey that had led them to this point. From a solitary human explorer encountering an ancient cosmic entity to becoming part of a galactic community united in the pursuit of knowledge and harmony, it was more than she had ever dreamed possible. The cosmic nexus pulsed behind them, a testament to the power of resilience, cooperation, and the unyielding human spirit. And ahead lay new horizons, new challenges, and new opportunities to prove that humanity's place among the stars was well earned. As Lyra Chen prepared to embark on this new chapter of cosmic exploration, she knew one thing with certainty: the greatest adventures of humanity were still to come. The end.